Tirreno-Adriatico now. We'll move on to that race where we did have bad weather, but it was an individual time trial. This will be a little bit shorter. You know how we do TTs. We have Wout van Aert here and Roglic, and the last minute decided to turn up to this race. We have UAE with a strong start list of McNulty, Almeida, Ineos with Ahrens, Gana, Kwiatkowski, Pidcock fresh off Strade, maybe a bit hungover, Sheffield, Pinot, Army Rail. Who else is here for GC? Adam
You mentioned
Yates,
Kelderman?
Keldergoat, Hindley, Giro winner, Enrique Mas. Big chance for Enrique Mas to win this race, actually. Roglic said he's not going for GC. Fair enough. I don't believe him. I don't believe him. We know, do not believe the Jumbo press releases.
Yeah.
But wow, Benji, for this TT. So, by the way, sorry, 11K TT. It's the Lido Camiola one, pancake flat, one corner, just about out and back, and torrential weather. More rain forecast for the earlier part of the TT, and Wout van Aert chose to go in the earliest slot, Benji. And then before the stage, Arthur van Dongen said he's not even going to try. Is that... Why is he not... Like, Strade's like, I can't win it, so I'm not going. And World Champs, he skipped the TT because he's like, I don't want to do both and maybe lose the road race. Remco won anyway. And now he's not trying for this TT.
I think there's multiple reasons that you could point at when it comes to Wout not trying here. As in, first of all, he's skipping Strade because he's not feeling like he's win ready yet. Maybe he wants to gradually start his season in Tirreno and not go for the win on stage 1, which is a rainy time trial, which you can break your legs a month before Paris-Roubaix, so he probably wants to skip that. I think there's a few valid reasons that could be leading to the factor that he's not going all out in this time trial. Could he have won if he did go all out? Not at that spotting spot, because the weather at that point was much worse than at the end of the time trial. Was it predicted that the end of the time trial would be much better weather, or no clue?
Yep. I think last night I saw people saying Ganna's in the best. From what we know right now, Ganna's in the better slot.
Well, then you already know beforehand, if you see Arthur van Dongen, the DS of Jumbo, say, Van Aert's not going for it, he's starting early, that from that starting early, we can get the conclusion of, like, okay, he's actually going to... Now we're listening to the DS. Because we're like, he's probably telling the truth if you put him in the worst position to try and get a good time here. But he indeed was not really going for it. He had the second time on the road when it was happening, but that was 5 seconds behind Nico Denz, which is not the best star-studded time trialist on the road either. So that didn't mean too much either. But like you said, we do this in a certain way, time trial, so I'll throw it back to you for that.
Well, exactly. I just did a quick whip through PCS. No one in the first 90 riders that went came in the top 20. So,
was Sheffield that late?
Sheffield was just after. So Sheffield went, I don't know, 96th. He ended up coming, you've thrown me now after. I started calling him Michelin Man. I'm flirting with that because he's chef, Le Chef, Sheffield. I'm working on it. Anyway, Ganna does the business. Enough. It's why he's here. It's why he's not at Paris-Nice, where he could help with the TTT. 12:28, blistering, 2 kilometers per hour, quicker than the next best, which was our boy, friend of the podcast, GC Leonard Kemner is back, German TT champion, second. 12:56, only 3 riders went sub 13. The third was Sheffield on 12:59, but that's a 28-second gap from Ganna to Kemner.
The Giro is coming, and he's going to be a GC rider. I'm seeing it coming. He's going to set good times at the time trials in the Giro, Kemna, and he's going to do really well. But we need to keep in mind that maybe he also gets that time because the weather really changed for the last 30 riders here. So might he get a top 3 if that doesn't happen? Perhaps not. We don't know. But it's still a solid time by Kemna. And like Sheffield, who ends up third, only 3 seconds behind Kemna, also a really good time. We've seen him had a good time trial at, was it Bologna last year where he had a good time trial, or where did he show up with a good time trial, Sheffield? I have no memory of this man.
TDU. Did he not do a good TT at TDU, the road bike one? Are we counting that? The Betty one?
Second, I guess. Denmark, he won the time trial. Second in the Tour de Polonia one last year. Some good time trials
TT's
there,
been
so he's looking
weird
good
this year, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like rainy, weather changing during the TTs. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. Because I always hate time trials where actually, I don't know. If the time trial is in the middle of a Grand Tour, where the riders have to start at a predetermined starting spot, then I hate that the weather changes throughout. If it's at the first stage of a Grand Tour, then
I don't mind
if the weather is according to the prediction, then it's kind of the teams to blame at what point that they send the riders out.
Exactly. So like last year, Jumbo had to choose between Roglic and Vingegaard for the preferred TT spot in the opening Danish TT. Anyway, Hepburn 4th, which Hepburn loves, I think, a Tirreno top 10 TT result. He came 4th on 13.01, McNulty 13.02, then a gap to Arensman on 13.07, Almeida 7th, decent TT for him, 13.09, Leknesund 8th, then Kasper Pedersen 9th, Lutsenko 10th, Kelderman on 13.16. Are we counting? For the time being, I'm counting Leonard as a GC guy, but yeah, I think so. But there is a bundling of GC. So Arensman and Almeida, McNulty really above the rest of the GC guys, which start with Kelderman about 10 to 15 seconds after them, and then Kelderman, Roglic, Vlasov, Hindley, O'Connor, Geoghegan Hart are all within about 5 seconds of each other. Roglic TT, frankly, not very good. I don't think, but maybe you want to risk it.
I don't know. Maybe it's not risking it with the combination that he's just starting the season earlier than expected because he was supposed to start at Catalunya season, so he's starting early on paper. I don't know if it has like a major factor there, but I'd say that Roglic will probably improve his results over the next couple of weeks, I would say. But when it comes to UAE, I do want to mention McNulty and Almeida up there. It has started today. Tirreno-Adriatico 2023 is Catalunya 2022. They are here with potentially 5 leaders in their start list. The Hunger Games have begun, and they're already fighting against each other for the leadership post. Honestly, this is going to be a very fun Tirreno if they play it like they played Catalunya last year, yes. Adam Yates, Formolo, Almeida, McNulty, those are 4 riders that 100% will go for themselves here, I would say. Milano's going to go for the sprints. Colby, on paper with Bennett Domestique, right? So 4 GC leaders?
Adam Ricardo, he finished terribly. Yeah, he's like over a minute after Leonard. I don't know when he went. Pidcock was bad too. He didn't go at a great time. Bad weather, but still his TT based on Algarve and here is not. It's not where I expected it to be, but he just won Strada. And the Tour barely has any time trial kilometers, so it's not that important for his goals this year, but he finished, significantly after Landa, noting that Landa had much better weather conditions. Carthy wasn't great. He did have good weather conditions. Hindley was pretty good by his standards.
For the weather
and his
conditions.
TT and the Giro was good last year too. The weather played a big impact on this TT.
I swear a portion of Hindley's time trial was during the hell portion of this time trial.
Yeah.
It was hailing on these riders. Is that a verb? Hailing?
Yeah.
It is now.
That's a hill in Dutch.
It's a hill in Dutch. Helling is not the same as hailing. Get out of here.
Did you know that?
Get the fuck out of here.
Otherwise, this is like what Ganna gets paid to do, I guess. Yeah. What do we think? Arensman looks good. McNulty.
I don't think you can conclude much from this, except for the riders that really did badly.
I think we at least know GC Almeida is on, I think. If Almeida does a good TT, because when McNulty does a good TT, to me that doesn't really mean he's going to crush GC. When Almeida does a good TT, he's locked in, he's taking GC seriously from my perspective. And tomorrow you got to be switched on. It's from Camaiore to Follonica on the west coast of Italy. It looks like, to me, a breakaway stage. It starts with a 2.6 kilometer, 5% climb out of neutral. Maybe, actually, it's longer than that. It's 4K climb. Then there's like 13K, 3% climb, 4K, 4% climb in the middle of the stage. This could still quite easily be a sprint if a team wants to control it. These climbs aren't that hard.
Yeah, like when we talk about like the climb that's in the middle of the stage, which is the Castellina Marittima, it's like 12.3 kilometers at 2.9%. Agreed, big ring climb. Next one, 4.1k at 4%. Pro should be able to do that relatively easily. Those ones that come later in the race are like two little bumps in the road, 1.3k at 6%. That's on paper doable, 6%. So I would say this could just as well be a bit of a versatile sprint, but who are the versatile sprinters that are here? Van der Poel, Philipsen. I think Philipsen can win this stage.
Yeah. Van Aert. And then
Van Aert's here, yeah. Forgot about him.
We have the pure sprinters in, and we have Milano. Milano, I think, should be able to get over this. We have Aaron Baru, the guru. If it is very difficult, I don't think it's hard enough for your man.
Jakobsen.
Mayus is here. Jordi Mayus. Bauhaus is here. Bauhaus has won in Tirreno before, but he'll probably win the last stage. He's got Pascal, and I think they'll go for him. Biniam's here. So, of course, Biniam will more than capable of contesting this finish. I think there's too many versatile sprinters here for the break to win. I think if I was... There's Buani here and Groenewegen as the more pure sprinters, as well as Fabio Jakobsen. I would suggest that the teams should use that last climb to absolutely light it up, because Groenewegen and Jakobsen can't climb. So if I'm Jumbo-Visma, I'm doing a full lead out with Benoit on that climb and hoping Intermarché help me for Benny.
I think Philipsen wins, but I would not be surprised if Meus is on the podium. And I'm not saying this because they're Belgian. They're Belgian, not the entire country. But Philipsen hasn't looked that amazing so far. But I kind of
Albelsen have looked
blame
terrible.
the fact that but Philipsen crashed in Kuurne. He had a puncture on the Muur in Omloop. Not that he probably would have competed there, but we haven't really seen an ability, a moment where he can actually show his strength. So I feel like this might be the day that he does it. And Meus has looked good all season. So that's why I'm pointing at those two names, really.
Otherwise, I'd have to look at the run-in. There could always be a Ganna or Sheffield or Kwiatkowski if there's a corner or a hairpin or something, counter-attack. We don't have big sprint trains here. Although I would say, like look at Intermarché, Benji. Bistrom, Bonifacio, Rota, Turnison, Zimmerman, Fliegen, Biniam. They should be all present and correct at the finish of this stage, being able to do a good lead out for Benny. Like, that's a good team. And Jumbo have got Volta, Bowman, and Benoit, Benji should be full sending this climb.
Yeah, if Van Aert feels like he's going to go for it tomorrow, then they should be full sending that climb.
Yeah, exactly.
But we don't know that. But when it comes to Intermarché, I felt like the Biniam Turnison duo didn't really work out yet so far. So we'll see if that works better now. If Bonifacio was last man, I don't know. Also a possibility, but perhaps third last man there. Anyway, we're going to see them sprint tomorrow, is my guess. I don't believe in a breakaway on the second day of Tirreno-Adriatico. So
does Fabio make
my
it?
winner is Philipsen. Fabio make it? If he does, he's not going to sprint for the victory.
I agree. Groenewegen, I'm not sure. Borderline, depends which teams take it up. But yeah, that was Tirreno-Adriatico. We haven't mentioned Cavendish. Hopefully he wins. Well, I don't actually really care. Anyone can win. Hope it's an interesting stage for us to recap tomorrow. Thanks for listening. As always, thanks to Zwift. We'll see the recaps of both races tomorrow. Ciao.